Hello everyone, myself Ketan Bhavsa, Assistant Professor in Engineering College, Ahmedabad. In image processing subject, today's topic we discuss about the morphological image processing. So now the first question arises in our mind that what exactly the morphological images is and what exactly the morphological operator is. So the answer of this all the question is that when we discuss about the morphological operator, then ultimately we are talking about different types of mathematical technique to improve the quality of image and extract the meaningful content from the image using mathematical expression, or you can say that using a specific mathematical equations. So morphological operator is play a main role to extract the meaningful content, same as a segmentation. See, in number of projects, people are working on the morphological operator. Some of the people are working on segmentation based operators, or they can use the segmentation instead of the morphological operator too. But in number of projects, we use a morphological operator, and after that we use a segmentation based operator. So here we discuss about the morphological image processing, and also we discuss about the different types of morphological operators. So now, what is morphological image processing? The first question arises in our mind. When we discuss about the morphological image processing, now the morphological image processing is used to extract the image component that are useful in the representation and description of the regions, say, such as, now there are a number of morphological operators we have, like binary extraction, skeleton, convex field, morphological filtering, thinning, and pulling. So these are different types of mathematical expressions which are used to extract the meaningful content from the images. And this content and this method is play a main role to extract the meaningful content from the region. Now, as you can see, the basic morphological operation we have, or there are certain mathematical expression we use to describe morphological operators. So here, as you can see, we are talking about the erosion, dilation, opening, and closing. In terms of the erosion and dilation, we have to work on the intersection and union based concept that we already use in the mathematical expression, or we already use in mathematical analysis. We use A intersection B, A union B. Same as in terms of the image processing, we can use this type of the operators, right? So erosion, dilation, opening, and closing. For the opening is generally used to extract the meaningful content from the images. It's called as an object, and closing is generally used to remove the background from the images. And in terms of that, the both methods is generally used to extract the meaningful content. And also the erosion and dilation is also play a main role to extract the meaningful content from the images, right? Now we're talking about the erosion. Now what is erosion? So erosion of a set A by subtracting the element B, all the Z in A such that B is in A when origin of B is equal to Z. Now these are the mathematical terms. Suppose that Z is the element A and B, both are the structuring element, or we can say the images. So the symbol, as you can see about the erosion, is equal to Z, then B of Z is belongs to or equal to A. These are mathematical terms about erosion. Similarly, in that, as you can see, erosion of set A by subtracting element B, all the Z in A such that B is in A, means the B is already available inside the A, right? So we can use a erosion based operator. Now we are talking about the dilation based operator. In terms of the dilation base, we have the mathematical term like this. The dilation of set A by structuring element B, all the Z in A such that B hits A when origin of B is equal to Z. In terms of that, B and A, B is hit inside the A means what? A there are a number of common elements which is available inside the A that we can extract using the dilation operation. So it is an intersection operator, and in terms of the erosion we are talking about the union operation, as you can see. Now these are the few points that we are talking about the erosion and dilation, as you can see. In terms of the erosion, removing of the structuring of the certain shape and sizes. In terms of the dilation, is filling the holes of certain shapes and sizes. So when we are talking about the dilation based operator, ultimately we fill holes, shapes and size and boundaries. And when we are talking about the erosion based operator, we are removing a certain shape and sizes. Okay. Now we are talking about the next operator in terms of the opening and closing. In terms of the opening, erosion followed by dilation is denoted by A circle B is equal to A intersection in terms of the erosion and dilation with B. It is a mathematical terms for the opening. So it is eliminating the protrusions, break needs and smooth the counters. Similarly, for the closing weight operation, in terms of the closing, the dilation is followed by the erosion is denoted by A dot B is equal to A dilation B erosion with B. So smooth the counter, fuse the narrow breaks and long thin curves, eliminate the small holes and fill gaps inside the counter. So basically closing and opening is both the way it is useful for identifying the shapes of the content and also it is useful for identifying the meaningful content from the images. So as you can see, there are a number of mathematical terms that we have. It is really used to extracting the meaningful content. Right? The opening and closing is play a main role when we discuss about fetching the meaningful content from the images. In terms of the opening and closing, it is useful for identifying the handmade data, or we can say that the handwritten character recognitions, alphabet recognition, different language pattern recognition. In this all the term, this morphological operator is playing a main role. We can say that the closing, opening, erosion and dilation is play a main role to extract the meaningful content from the images, and also it play a main role to identify the content which is inside a specific content, or we can say that inside the image. So opening and closing is play a main role extracting the meaningful content or images. Right? So I hope that you are getting the idea about closing, erosion and dilation. See, so these are the morphological operators that we are studying, but in the next we also study the different types of operators like skeleton is there, heat or mist is there, context view is there. So there are a number of other morphological operators available which is really used to extract the meaningful content from the images. So I hope that you are getting the idea about opening, closing, erosion and dilation. Okay, now we are talking about the properties. So as you can see in opening we have properties A, B is a subset of A. If C is a subset of D, then C opening B is a subset of D opening B. So A opening B is equal to A opening B. This is the property for the opening in terms of mathematical representations, and similarly for the closing, A is a subset of A into B. That if C is a subset of D, then C into B is a subset of D into B. So we can say that A into B, A closing B into closing B is equal to A closing B. So these are the mathematical term in terms of A closing B means it is a dot, that is a closing sign, and as you can see it's a blank circle, so it's called as an opening sign. So I hope that you are getting the idea about opening and closing. Still, if you have any doubt in the morphological operator in terms of opening, closing, erosion and dilation, then you can contact me. You are getting the idea about opening, closing, erosion and dilation. Still, we have different types of morphological operator, and they all operators play a main role to extract the image information in terms of to identify the content from the images. Still, number of projects use a morphological operator, like if you want to detect some number plate images, or if you want to detect some number plate from the images, if you want to identify some humans which is available inside the video or inside, we can say that the images. For this, all the type of application, morphological image processing is playing a main role. Even in current scenario, people are working on image processing, OpenCV based concept, object recognition, detection based concept. In this, all the type of applications, a feature extraction is play a main role. So we are working on the different types of features. So features is nothing but when we are talking about the feature, then we are ultimately talking about the properties of the images that we are required, which generally used for extracting the information. So this morphological operator is playing a main role extracting the information in terms of to getting the data which is inside in the images, or it can be used to extract the meaningful content which is available inside the image. Erosion, dilation, in terms of the dilation we are talking about a intersection beam is identify the common element, and also when we are talking about a union beam, then it is used to allow all the common one, can say that all the available component which is inside A and B. Same for the opening and closing. So still there are a number of few morphological operators we have available, and we see in the next slide that how this type of operator is play a main role to extracting the meaningful content for the image processing. Okay, so still we have a number of morphological operators, but we will discuss in the next session. But make sure that before that you work on all the type of the morphological and also for the comparison based technique, because in the terms of the segmentation chapter we have to follow the morphological operator very well, because as I already told you, in number of projects people are using the segmentation technique after the morphological operator, and even in number of projects people are working on the morphological operator and then they are working on segmentation based approach. Right? So these two techniques play a main role to extracting the meaningful content, and this content is called as a features, and this feature is used as a classification in terms of the machine learning, artificial intelligence, or even to identify the different types of object. So thank you very much for this session and watching this session. So still if you have any doubts you can contact me. So thank you very much.